Hello and welcome to Normal is an Illusion, a podcast where we talk about lifestyle, clothes, society, traveling with people who experience life in their own unique way. Brought to you by Uniqlo. I am Lena.
And I am Tony, and every week we bring you a guest from a different background and talk about life, dreams, struggles, and try to define the word normal. Nobody exists without a purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everyone's going to die eventually. So once we accept that fact, then every place could be the center of the universe and every moment would count. Today's episode is called Don't Put Yourself in My Shoes. This is Normal is an Illusion by Uniqlo. So tell me, Lena, how are you? How was your morning?
My morning? It was going great until, 7 a.m. That's when I woke up.
But I'm glad you got up and came here because today we have a cute guest and it's Gabe. Hello, Gabe. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Gabe, I'm 21, I live in Milan, and I identify as transgender non-binary. I study communication here in Milan.
So Gabe, would you like to tell us something about what you're wearing today and what's the mood?
I'm wearing a green sweater with a shirt underneath and, elegant trousers.
I really like your outfit and maybe I get inspired from it.
Have you ever got some weird looks or responses based on something you wear?
Oh, yes. Very often, actually, when I'm on public transport, I get stared at very often. One time I was going to a parade, and I was wearing quite heavy makeup. I had drawn on a beard, and this old man came up to me just to tell me that you don't have to do this. You don't have to dress like this. Why do you do this?
So, Gabe, as an amazing host, I took the liberty to stalk you on Instagram and to know more about you. So, can I say to you, I love the pictures on your profile. And when I see your profile, I see traveling, I see sketching, doodling, photography, and you're an activist and you have a lot of opinions. So, do you have an opinion about feminism?
I have a strong opinion about feminism. I define myself as a feminist. I believe that it's a word that's considered scared by many, but it's just, a different word for equality, and we all should be feminists.
So your Instagram name is nonbinary.gabe. What's the story behind it? And to be honest, we and I think a lot of our listeners are not very aware of what transgender non-binary is. Would you like to enlighten us?
Well, the story behind my name is, Gabe is my name, obviously, and I identify as non-binary. And I love my labels. I love being non-binary, and I always want to make it clear from the beginning. So I put it right in my name on Instagram, no misunderstandings. And transgender, someone who's transgender is someone who doesn't identify with the gender they were assigned at birth.
Okay.
And someone who's non-binary is a transgender person that does not identify with either male or female, or who doesn't identify with just one of these terms, or doesn't identify with one of these terms all the time.
Also, on your Instagram, you do have a lot of cosplays, including characters from Star Trek. To do a cosplay for a character, I think you really gotta love the person or the character. So maybe one of them is an inspiration for you?
There was a period where I really identified and took inspiration from Leonard McCoy, Bones from Star Trek. He was really an inspiration because he was a very professional figure, but also, he has this kind of kindness and passion for science, and he has his heart in the right place always.
So are you active on other social medias? Or how important is it for you or for self-expression, for supporting your community? I'm sure it helps to reach for people.
I do have quite a lot of social media. I mainly use Instagram though, because it's my main platform. I think it's very easy on Instagram to reach other people, to share what you think, share your opinions, and just inform people about reality.
We also found out that you have a very special friend, Jayla. That's how we pronounce it. You're a gecko.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I was wrong with the name.
Yeah, the gecko is actually called Bones, like the character. And yeah, he's just chilling in his terrarium in my home. I really love all animals. I really love reptiles. So yeah, that's also part of my life.
Do you have any other pets?
I have a dog. He's the love of my life. He's small and furry, and
So, as we saw from your Instagram, you travel a lot. And for me, traveling means discovering new places and wanting to know about them, and sometimes maybe an escape from the real life. What does traveling mean to you, and what has been your favorite place to travel to so far?
I really can relate to what you said about it being an escape from everyday life.
Yeah.
Also, I love to see how other people live. I love to see, different part of this world we're in. And the place that got to me the most was Warsaw in Poland.
Yeah.
I went there, on December, so it was full of Christmas light in a period that I really love.
Oh, nice.
And I really felt at home,
Cool.
just trying to find my place in the world.
So do you have another place on your list, like a place you want to go to next?
I would really like to visit Northern Europe, like Switzerland, I think they're really open-minded countries up there, and would be really nice to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're away from home, more maybe like traveling or just out of your comfort zone, what makes you really feel like you're home?
I think plants will do that. I have a lot of plants in my house, in my room here in Milan, and they always manage to make me feel, calm and relaxed. So that always helps.
We now understand that you don't identify as either male or female, and maybe the society needs to make some changes to be more respectful and accepting. And what can be those small changes? Maybe something like for male and female public bathrooms, small things like that. Do you have some things in mind which can bring out a good change for you?
I believe that one of the biggest changes will be, society learning not to assume other people's genders based on how they look. If every time we meet, the first thing we ask each other is, hi, what's your name and what pronouns do you prefer? That will be a big change for many of us in the transgender community.
So what pronouns do you prefer?
I use they, them pronouns in every language that has a non-binary option.
Mm-hmm.
In Italian, which is sadly a very binary language, I prefer male pronouns.
Okay, but maybe we should change our languages a bit.
Yeah.
I think since there's a lot of things that we don't know, even if we're accepting and respecting other communities. So I'm sure you must have had some incidents where people said something weird or insensitive things just out of ignorance. Can you tell us about something like that?
Yeah, that happens a lot. People often are not used or educated about, transgender people. So they often say, not necessarily disrespectful things, but, things that could make dysphoric a transgender person. Especially they're not used to non-binary people. And so I've gotten a lot of, so you're a guy, or so you're a girl. Just people not understanding and not thinking about the fact that I always get those questions, and it's a bit tiring day after day.
I think it was like a problem also for us when we started this project. We had sometimes difficulty to remember that we have to say they or them, and it was also new for us, even though we respect all communities.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing, you know. You have to get used to it because we were taught something else by society, you know. But the most important thing is to make the effort to respect the person you're talking to. And we can really see that when someone respects us or doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like we were talking yesterday about the podcast, and I appreciated that Tony started saying they and them. And I was like, yeah, you're getting the hang of it.
It was about time.
Gabe, I think as a society, the whole world is making a lot of progress to respect all genders. How does this differ from place to place, since like you've traveled a lot? And what do you think, where do you think people are more open-minded or progressive or accepting?
I believe that Italy is a very hard place to live in right now for transgender people. I do not feel at home here. I do not feel respected most of the time, you know, except when I'm with close friends. I was really impressed, you know, traveling to Scotland this summer. I spent 2 weeks there, and they being more open-minded, the language being different and not so gendered. I think that in 2 weeks I got misgendered like one time, while here in Milan it happens, you know, on a daily basis, more than one time a day, you know. And so that was really open-minding for me. You know, it really opened my eyes. Started, you know, thinking that maybe not everywhere in the world it's the same, you know. No, It doesn't have to be this hard. So I would say definitely, you know, the UK, and also, as I mentioned before, northern countries.
So how do you deal with people who are like transphobic or homophobic?
I have a problem. I do not know when to shut up. So I always end up arguing with people, you know, trying to convince them otherwise, trying to make up their minds. But it does take a toll on you. And so I'm trying to learn when it's worth it, when the person you have in front of you is willing to listen, or if they just want to talk over you and, you know, be disrespectful. So I try to walk away when that's the case.
I think we should all try to understand and be more educated about these things and be more respectful. We will try our best from our side.
Thank you.
We talked about your pets, your studies, your lifestyle. Do you have, obviously you have some dreams and aspirations. Do you have a bucket list of things that you want to do?
Well, kind of, you know. I do have in mind the kind of life that I want. I want to travel the world. I want to get away from Italy, possibly. I want to have a lot of pets in my future. And I would really, really love to make my voice heard, you know, as much as I can. So talking about non-binary in every way I can.
So this has been fun and informative talk, Gabe. So to conclude this conversation, we have a small question followed by a rapid-fire round. If you had the power to change one thing in this world to make it a better place, what could it be?
I believe I will get back to feminism because I think that masculinism in this society is the thing that affects, you know, most of the stuff we live every day. Most of it, you know, men, women, non-binary people.
If you want to discuss about it, have you ever been in love? And what was your first love like?
I am in love right now. I have a boyfriend. We've been together for 2 years. He's a transgender man. It's really nice being in love with, you know, someone who understands you, who's there for you all the time. My first love was a little bit different because I was younger and living with a family that was not so willing to accept, you know, the fact that I am queer. And so it was really difficult because we had a lot of things in our way, society and family mainly.
So now we have a short and sweet game, which is like a rapid fire. We say a word and you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
Okay. So, for example, summer.
Beach.
Food.
Pizza.
Love.
Francesco.
Freedom.
An airplane.
Gabe.
Short hair.
We also noticed that you have a lot of hair colors. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always
they
Change of
change a lot.
mood.
They change a lot.
Normal.
Gray,
home.
plants.
We already know that.
Thank you, Gabe, for being with us today. We had an amazing time with you.
Thank you, me too.
In the end, we would just like to say to our listeners, Gabe has dreams and aspirations like all of us. They have a lot of problems in their life, like all of us. Maybe they have a lot more problems than us. And all we can do is be more respectful, non-judgmental, and loving.
Being normal is not what we aim for at the end of the day. By the way, why not being weird? Don't put yourself in someone else's shoes. Wear your own. They're more comfortable. This is Normal is an Illusion, brought to you by Uniqlo.